Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is our Criminal Minds Season 15, Episode 7 reaction, and we'll preview Episode 8 in this video as well. I mean, this is the terrifying news coming out of this, that we really only have 2 more weeks of Criminal Minds left at this point.
Oh, this is not the news I want to talk about.
No, it's the news. Nobody wants to talk about this. But, I mean, you can even already get a sense that the end is near within this episode, especially with some of the stuff that Prentiss is trying to figure out.
Yeah, they've been setting a couple things up.
Well, we will break all this down for you within this video, but before we do anything else, if you like this discussion, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. We already have a reaction video up for episode 6, so I suggest you go and take a look at that.
All about Cat Adams.
Yes, the return of Cat Adams.
So good.
Spencer Reid chaos, and I do really like the fact that we're sort of going from, okay, here is a really personal Reid episode to, oh, here's a really personal Prentiss episode.
Yeah.
Other than her, living her best life with wine and donuts, otherwise known as a part of my best life, there hasn't been that much focus on her this season, but we got a lot of Emily in this episode.
Yeah, and I mean, even with the donuts and wine, we did have her saying that she was going to Pilates with her boyfriend, so things were going really well. So it was a little bit disheartening tonight to hear that things were now kind of in this weird questionable space.
Yeah, and what I like about the story that Emily is sort of tackling and going through is that she's trying to figure out really what matters most to her in her life, and also how she can make certain pieces of it work. And it's a reminder that you can be basically the head of the BAU and still kind of question, am I going to be the right partner? Am I going to be able to, present myself well to Mendoza's kid? It's like she still has insecurities. It's like she's still human.
Yes, she is. Wine and donuts.
Exactly.
No, it was really cool to have a bit more insight into what's going on, and that he's asked her to move with him out there, and she's not sure that she wants to go. Obviously, she loves her job. She's in a really good spot there, and work-wise, yeah, it's great, but personal life-wise, now that has moved away. So is there a way for her to kind of balance that out? I mean, we can say that they would do a little long distance for a little while, but that's eventually it has to give. Somebody's got to go somewhere. And with him having a kid, and that kid is out there, that makes it a lot less likely that he's gonna uproot everybody there to move back. So it's a tough situation, and in some ways, like, I'm just kind of wondering if there's a way that she's going to be able to kind of get everything she wants. Now, it's not like she's gonna go out there and be the head of the BAU type out there. That's not gonna be really a thing. But is there another job that she could have that could be just as fulfilling or even more fulfilling for her, where she can have her donuts and wine too, where she gets to be with him, she gets to have a great job, the meeting with the daughter went really well? I mean, can't she have it all? I'd like her to have it all.
I think despite the fact that there are murderous people running around every single episode, I think Criminal Minds is a show about hope ultimately. And it's a show about people who you love, and you love them on the job, and you love them off the job, and you root for them. I feel like in one way or another, they will figure this out. And Prentiss has been one to work outside of the BAU before, so I certainly think that she could do it again with the right position and the right opportunity.
And it's the last season, so I feel that we're not going to have them just break up and then she's going to just be back at work, no personal life, everything's kind of not. It is a hopeful show, which is very weird to say with what's going on with a lot of these unsubs. But the team themselves feel like they're happy, they're a family, they have their lives outside of this. Like, we want to see happiness for them. And it would be a real bummer to end this season with her deciding that, nope, she's not going to make it work, and no more relationship, and no more Saturday Pilates, and that's it.
Yeah, I think there will be, in one way or another, meeting of the minds, objectives coming true. I think we will be happy for her. I mean, I gotta even say this, though. It's weird, but I kind of like them showing us kind of like the more boring aspect of life at the BAU with like her having to sit in a budget meeting, and because it's sort of like, oh yeah, so there is the going and trying to stop unsubs from killing people, but then there's also, oh, you have to talk about the budget.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of wondering, we were talking a little bit about this before, the idea that if Prentiss does decide to move, that maybe someone like JJ might be able to move up and into that position and lead the team. And then that kind of gives both of them a bit of a more happy ending, moving into something new and developing that. So it gives us in our imagination that Prentiss is off having a great personal life, a great work life. JJ's maybe moving into a new promotion, a new spot, doing some new interesting stuff and growing her career.
It would be kind of cool, really, and ultimately a little bit full circle if we end up seeing JJ, someone who has really went through such a journey over this course of this show and has been there for almost the entirety of it, to then actually kind of conclude the show being sort of at the top of things. I mean, I guess Reid is a candidate as well. I just don't know if being the head of the BAU is the right job for Reid. I feel like Reid kind of is already at his best sort of balancing being an agent and also doing teaching.
I just kind of don't think that that's what Reid wants to do. I mean, even in tonight's episode, they had this discussion on a plane. If you weren't doing this, what would be sort of your path not chosen? And he was just like, I'd be a cowboy, which of course was surprising to all of us. But then when you kind of broke it down, where he was like, yeah, I'd like to raise some cattle and have some horses and have a more sort of laid back life and whatever, that tells me that he doesn't want to be in charge. He's not looking to lead the team and do all of this other stuff. As far as being in charge, he does have his teaching and he does get to help out at the team, but it doesn't seem like that's what he wants.
The good thing is that I don't think they're going to leave us on the lurch for too long when it comes to giving answers, because we can at least say this about episode 8 right now. At some point in this, you're going to see Prentiss and JJ make some big decisions when it comes to their future, and maybe the BAU is involved in that. And we haven't really seen that much that really shows us that JJ is like thinking hardcore about her future now.
Yeah, it's true. And speaking of JJ, we had a scene at the end of this episode that may or may not be related to what happened with JJ and Reid earlier this season. This whole episode was about choosing the path not taken.
Yeah.
And we do know that these two decided to choose different paths at the beginning of this season, where JJ decided to stay with Will and Reid has now decided to move on, and now he's dating Max and things are going really well. And things are going well for both of them.
Yeah.
And so when they were having that conversation on the plane, the last thing they did is they actually raised their glasses to choosing the paths that they did, sort of thing, and not going on this different path and enjoying what they have and what they've chosen. I thought that was kind of an interesting way to end that a little bit, where they're all smiling, happy with their choices. Just sort of another nudge to this was the right thing for everybody.
Yeah, I like that they do that. I think they created just a nice sense of peace at the end of all of this, because we saw JJ and Reid deal with so much just like emotional stuff over time that it's just nice to have the two of them happy, and they still have their friendship, and it doesn't feel like we're gonna have like that much like relationship hand-wringing between the two of them.
No, and we did have a moment for all the Garvez fans out there that likes the idea of Garcia and Luke together, and I admit that I'm one of those people. Like, I don't know what it is about them. There's just kind of a fun, I don't know, there's a fun chemistry there. So we did get to see that. She was all like, you should worship at my throne, Luke. And he's like, oh, I do. And she's like, what? And just kind of hung up on him. But it's nice to have those kind of moments where it's not the same relationship that she had with Morgan earlier and anything like that. There feels like there's something kind of there with them. So even though I don't think that's where we're going with them.
No.
Still kind of cool.
It's cool. It's fun to see the two of them interact in that sort of way. And it's nice that they're not forgetting about this while they're having to, like, rush through some stuff because we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
The unsub story for this week, I mean, this kind of falls into the category of how much is there to really say about it. It's, okay, here's a bad guy. We catch the bad guy, we figure it out, and, you know, it's kind of run-of-the-mill Criminal Minds. Not that that is really a bad thing that has kept the show on the air for 15 years.
Yeah. It was sort of a get in, get your unsub, get out, and so it was very much Criminal Minds. So it was an okay case. It wasn't the thing that I was really sort of focusing on with everything that was going on with Prentiss. So it was good, but the other stuff was great.
Yeah, that's really the thing. I mean, at this point, we know these agents so well that I think we want all of them to end up being happy.
And we're so close to the end
I know.
now that we just want to know how it's going to end for everybody.
Yeah.
There's just not very many episodes left.
I know. Well, before we go, let's sort of give up another teaser too about episode 8.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about Prentiss and JJ. It seems like there's going to be potentially a traditional unsub for this upcoming episode, but Michael Mosley is listed as the guest cast for playing Everett Lynch, so maybe it's just like the final minutes of the episode, or maybe he's connected to the unsub case itself, but he's back!
Yeah, and I kind of feel like that's probably how it's going to play out, that we might have something with him sort of at the end leading into the two-part finale.
Yeah, I think we're going to set the stage for everything coming up at the end. I hope it's going to be dramatic. I hope nobody dies. Don't get rid of any of my BAU family, Criminal Minds.
No, not right at the end. I can't see them doing that. I do feel
Fingers crossed.
For the most part that this is a hopeful show. I think we don't want to end with losing somebody, and I don't think they do either. I think we're going to see little bits of happiness for everyone, and one of those things, to me, will be catching Everett and making sure that that's all squared away. So,
fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. There's not too much time left, but for now, what did you guys think about Criminal Minds Season 15, Episode 7? Did you like having these two episodes back-to-back? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments, and if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us more by checking that link in the description to the CARTERMATT store, and we'll see you here next time.